Okay, finally it's working. So this is 6th grade, and this is on page 291. It's the mid-topic checkpoint. I'm going to have you guys do this today, and I've also assigned in the Math Google Classroom, yeah, it should be up by now, is a Math XL going over what we just did, which was 5-4. So both of these, because again, I think I'm going to have you guys for a really long period today, will be due today. The Math XL, that's not due until tonight, before midnight. But this, I think I'll probably assign it as some classwork. So let's look at this. I don't think I'm going to worry about the mid-topic performance task on the back page. We'll just look at this one for now. And then if you guys do end up coming back after lunch and I have you for a real long period, we might just start 5-5. But we'll see. Anyway, so number 1 here, it says vocabulary. How can a ratio be used to compare quantities? Really easy. Go back to lesson 5-1, and they'll answer that question for you. And all you have to do is copy it over. So I want you to do number 1. Number 2, it says the circumference of the outside of a ring is 66 millimeters. So here's a ring. And they're talking about the outside circumference, so that should be obvious. They're talking about the furthest diameter of the ring, and it has an outer diameter of 21 millimeters. So when they say outer diameter, they're talking about the outside edges, and that's 21 millimeters. And it says if the circumference of the inside of the ring is 50, so now we're talking about the inside circumference. And what is the diameter of the ring? Okay, so I believe they're asking what's the diameter of the inside of the ring. So, gosh, you might be asking yourself, well, how on earth do I find that out? Turn back to page 287, and I gave you the formula to figure out the circumference of a circle. And the circumference equals pi times the diameter. And then for our purposes, the diameter, or pi is 3.14. So go back to this, and well, we're just going to use 3.14. If you want to do the extra math and put 3.1415 and do it by hand, you are welcome to. So pi equals 3.14 for our purposes. And the circumference equals pi times the diameter. All right? So take a shot at number 2. Number 3. It says during a breakfast service, D-Town Diner sells 12 cups of coffee for every 10 glasses of orange juice. How many cups of coffee would the diner have sold if 40 glasses of orange juice had been sold? And we're assuming here the ratio stays the same. So it says 12 to 10, and then they have 40 down there. So go ahead and fill this out. This is number 3. And then let me know what you think that would be. Cups of coffee if there was 40 glasses of orange juice. And if you're not sure, you can go back to lesson 5-2. So they give us a little bit of help there. Excuse me. Number 4, ratio of cows to chickens at Old McDonald's farm is 2 to 7. So 2 would be the cows, because that's the first one listed. And then 7 would be the chickens. That's the second number listed. Select all the farms that have a greater ratio of cows to chickens than Old McDonald's farm. A greater ratio of cows to chickens. In other words, there's going to be more cows. A greater ratio than 2 to 7. So they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to choose from. So you pick however many boxes or farms specifically would have a greater ratio of cows to chickens. Number 5, a package of 3 notebooks costs $5. complete the ratio table, and then graph the pairs of values. And I taught you yesterday how to graph pairs of values. Remember, they're always listed as X and then Y first. So this right here, maybe put an X right above that, and then put Y above the cost. And it looks like they want us to label this graph here. So this would be cost. Put a $sign there. And this would be number of notebooks. Okay. So you go ahead and fill this out and then graph each one. And I think I'd like you guys to, when you graph this, let's say this is your graph, and you have a point, let's say, that's right here, and maybe another point that's right here. I taught you yesterday about labeling the points. And I do want you to do that for this graph. So let's just say, for example, there's a point right here, and each box represents 1. So the X value is listed as first. So the X would be 1, 2. So we'll put a 2 right there, comma, and the Y value is 1, 2, 3. 3. So that point would be 2, 3. The next point, what's the X value? Well, looks like it's there. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So it would be 4, comma, and the Y value is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 4, comma, 6. So for number 5, which I do want you to do, and they ask you to graph it, and you're going to graph the ordered pairs. So you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dots on this graph. Nice and neatly label each one. Straight edge, something, and then when you're done with all 5 dots, you're going to draw a line connecting all the dots. Okay? Questions, anybody? No? Okay. So a short video, and again, depending on how the day goes, I may do a second video on 5-5. But work on this for now, and then I'll have you guys switch to work on the Math XL that's in the Google Math page. So I'll stop right here.